Hey guys, it's Kel. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm so ready to do this video. It has been long awaited. It is today currently January, what's the date? 16th. I'm very late for this video, but I cannot wait, honey. Like, this is the video I've been waiting for. So in today's video, we are gonna do all the books that I read in 2019. So in 2019, I kickstarted back my, reading habit. I used to read a lot whenever I was younger. When I was in middle school and high school, like, reading was my jam. I read all the time. 2019, I was going through a lot of personal issues, relationship issues, and so my coping mechanism for all that was to read. I anticipated to read a lot more books. I did start a couple books and then I didn't finish them just because I was moving and there was just a lot of like transitioning, so kind of sucked because I was trying so hard to like stick to books, but then I would move or I didn't have a place to live. Like, there's a lot of that going on, so yeah, it wasn't as consistent as I wanted. So in 2019 I read 18 books. I wanted it to be 19 books or 20, like that was my goal, but I finished reading this book like maybe like 3 days into January, so I was like, it didn't really count toward my reading goal, and that book was The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. First read of 2020. What's up? Go read this book. It's great. I finished it in 2 days. Like, yeah, you need it in your life. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to be talking about all the books I read this year. The best books, my top 5, the worst book of the year, all that jazz. I'm so excited because I have a filming area now. Oh my God, I'm so excited. But if you guys are new here and you want to see more content from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then turn on the little bell to get notifications whenever I upload. All right, so for the year of 2019, I read 18 books. 12 of them were physical books and 6 of them were audiobooks. 18 is not a HOLA, but I feel like my mouth's gonna get dry by the end of this video, so let's hurry up and just start listing these books off. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. 1984 by George Orwell. If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. P.S. I Love You by Jenny Han. And Always and Forever by Jenny Han. Laura Jean's my BFF, what's up? The Unavailable Father by Sarah S. Rosenthal. The Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. Not Your Princess, Voices of Native American Women by Lisa Charleboy. Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. And finally, The Diviners by Libba Bray. So in this video, I wanted to include all my stats to all my reading, how many pages, all that fun stuff, but I cannot find, I had a screenshot of all of it and I cannot find it anywhere. So whenever I find it, I'll just put it in the description box below if you guys want to go check that out. Now we have to start with my top 5 books of the year. Now this was pretty tough just because I feel like all the books I read were like 5-star books, know what I'm saying? If you guys have been following me, you guys probably know what my top 5 is already, but number 1 of my top 5 has to be like hands down The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. If you guys are true followers of me, you guys know how much I freaking love this book. This is my freaking book. I love it so much. I recently just rented the movie and watched it. Was not really a fan, honestly. The movie was okay. It's just like, it would scrape the surface. It wasn't even as in-depth as the book, and like the book has so many musical references and the movie had none, so I had like maybe 1. But like, it just wasn't enough. So yes, definitely a top 5. My second favorite of the year, hands down, has to be the To All the Boys I Loved Before series by Jenny Han. I do actually have the physical copies. I can't find them anywhere. I don't know what the frick. I'm losing my mind over here right now because that's my favorite freaking series that I own and I can't find it, so I'm like, what the frick, where are they? So I'm pretty late reading the series because obviously I started by watching the movie on Netflix and that's my jam. So once I watched the movie on Netflix, I was hooked, and then I read the series and I fell more in love with Laura Jean. I freaking love her so much. I really want a 4th book because I miss her. Like, I miss Laura Jean so bad. Like, I need a buddy and she was my only friend. All right, number 3 on my top 5 is An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. This book is a favorite just because I feel like this book changed my life. Like, I've never ever felt like more emotional reading a book before I like read this book. Like, oh my gosh, this book got me. I did listen to this book on audio, which I really recommend just because since it's it's not a sad book, but it is kind of like melancholy and sad, so I had to take breaks from listening to it, and I feel like if I got the physical copy, I wouldn't have like picked it up again. I would have just like put it to the side and like been too emotional to like pick up and read it. So yeah, I would really recommend the audiobook. So this book is very special to me. I keep recommending this book to my friends, but they keep telling me no because they don't want to get emotional, but I'm like, just read it. Like, it's not as bad as I'm making it seem, but yeah, it's very emotional. It will get you. I cried like so long. I cried for hours and days after this book. Even thinking about this book makes me want to cry. So yeah, it's intense. Number 4 in my top 5 is Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God. So this is another book that I listened to on audio, and I would really recommend it just because Charlemagne's the one that actually narrates it, and he's so freaking funny, like telling his own stories. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed this book. This book definitely made it into my top 5 just because he's an entertainer, and this is like sort of the industry that I want to go in. So I really feel like he was a mentor, and I really learned a lot from this book and his experiences and his humor, and it was really great. And number 5 of my top 5 of 2019 is The Diviners by Libba Bray. Holy freaking crap, this book was a freaking ride. This is another book that I listened to on audio, and the girl that narrated it, like, oh my gosh. There were so many characters, and she did all the voices, like, for all the different characters. Oh my god, I loved it so much. Like, 1920s New York, I cannot get enough. Like, she was doing the accents, and just like, oh, hey, let me buy you a drink. Like, I just love it. Like, I cannot get enough. All right, next let's talk about the most overhyped book of the year. Definitely has to be my favorite Half Nine Stand by Christina Lauren. This book was kind of just like, ugh, like I just did not understand like why. I don't know. I don't want to say I wasted my time reading it, but it just was not my style. Like, I just feel like the humor was kind of like corny. I feel like the humor in the book was like very like white privilege humor. Like, it's like, oh, like we're going on a trip, like a road trip, like haha, we're in Santa Monica. Like, I just did not like it. God, I wanted it to be more funny, and it wasn't funny. I was like, what the frick? And you could tell that it's like women writing men jokes. Like, there's guys in the story, and you could tell that women are writing for them because like guys wouldn't really talk like that. So I don't know. I really hated the dialogue, and the romance in it didn't really feel like, I don't know, it just was like really awkward to me, and I did not like really vibe with this book. All right, the funniest book of the year, hands down, has to be Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God. If you guys don't know who Charlemagne the God is, he is a radio commentator on Hot 97, the radio station in New York City. My man, Charlemagne, know what I'm saying? So yeah, in this book, he just talks about his, you know, claim to fame, how he got into radio, all that stuff, but he's so freaking funny. Oh my God, this book is so freaking hilarious. If you guys know Charlemagne, he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He's very controversial. He tells you how it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. And in this book, he really talks about how he kind of came to that. So yeah, if you guys want like a funny mentor, I would really recommend this book. It's freaking hilarious. And we have to do this. We have to do the worst book of the year. The most boring book, hands down, has to be 1984 by George Orwell. This book was a struggle to get through. Technically, I didn't finish it. I think I ended it maybe like a few chapters before the ending, but I still counted it toward my, you know, reading because I was like so far along anyway, so I counted it. Even though this book is fiction, I feel like this is more like academia. Like, I would have rather read this book in school just because of how much like symbolism and in-depth and like a lot of like, it's just very educational, and I was falling asleep while I was reading it, honestly. It was just, it's very, very tough to get through. The first like 4 chapters aren't terrible, but as it progresses, like the middle, like, oh my gosh, it was a struggle. It was a very big struggle to get through. But I have no regrets reading this. I feel like in the loop now. I know like kind of what everyone was talking about with this book, so I feel like really good that I educated myself on, you know, what this book was about finally. If you guys want to read it, you can. I would recommend you being in a school setting with this just because it'd be a lot easier to kind of go through in a group. I feel like this is more like a group book rather than an individual book. That's just my opinion on it. And finally, we're gonna do the best book of the year. This is so tough just because I feel like my reading style really changed this year. I tried different books I really wouldn't read. Obviously, my top 5 are my top 5 for a reason. They met me at a place where I needed them. They hit me right here. The writing was great. The stories were great. I connected with the characters great. But if I had to choose the best book of the year, the book that I connected with the characters the most, where I just loved every second of it, and I finished it in a really quick time, it would definitely have to be The Sun Was Also a Star by Nicole Yoon. After this video, you guys have to finally go freaking read this book just because I always talk about it, and it met me at a time where I was getting a divorce and I needed an escape, and I feel like this book really, like, I'm gonna cry. I feel like I'm gonna cry talking about this book. If you guys don't know what this book is about, it's about a girl named Natasha. She's a Jamaican American immigrant, and a guy named Daniel who's a Korean American immigrant, and they meet one day. The whole premise is that Daniel thinks that he can make Natasha fall in love with him in 24 hours. Natasha's family is getting deported the next day to go back to Jamaica, so like the whole thing takes place in a whole day. I really connected to Natasha's character because she really loves like 90s grunge in this book, and I feel like at the time whenever I was reading this, I was going through a separation, a divorce. I was very like emo and like in my feelings. And I think like the music that she, like her whole playlist in this book like got me through some tough times. Like, oh my God, I remember like reading this book and like taking a minute to like go cry in the bathroom. I don't know, I feel like this book like helped me like come out of my shell and like helped me like remember like who I kind of was a little bit. That sounds so corny, but like it really did. Like I feel like it just brought out a lot of stuff in me that I needed to be brought out, you know what I'm saying? So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed all the books that I read in 2019. I can't believe I read that many. So yeah, in 2020 we were doing a lot more reading. My list is gonna be a lot bigger. I can't wait to make this video next year. Like always, if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you guys are not subscribed to my channel yet, please go subscribe. All my social medias will be linked down below. Don't forget to go follow Yo Girl on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Go follow me. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time in a new video. Bye.